Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Point Spread at fantasypoints.com. It is game time on fantasypoints.com. To those of you listening live, the dozens and dozens of Brolley and Dolan fans, and to the maybe hundreds listening on our Fantasy Points Premium podcast feed. Ben, what are the instructions to get the premium podcast feed, by the way? Just so I can throw it out there. I have it added. I did it, but I just don't remember exactly how to do it. Okay, media drop down premium podcast. That's really easy. So Tom and I were told that we had a lot of look, we're Friday at 5 p.m. Okay, I understand. Tom probably has a beer already.
Oh yeah, two of them. I put them two in there. I'm ready to go, man. I literally just looked at props for 3 hours. I just have numbers dancing around in my head.
I just updated injuries, and there is nothing worse for the game hubs than late week injuries. They are the goddamn worst. I just put those in there. They're all updated. But everybody, welcome to the Point Spread live stream, where we go each and every game on the board, EGOTB, and we break down spreads, over unders, props that everybody likes, and we'll see what makes Brolley's board for the Sunday live stream. It's good to be with everybody. T-Bro on the Mango ICs,
no, we're into September. I got to go a little hard, more fall beers here. I got a little Pilsner, I believe. It's called the Blue Stripe. It's in honor of Penn State tomorrow. So
okay. Against the Auburn there.
Bought a dozen. Oh, they're cool style. So ready to go.
Yeah.
Good tailgating beer. So
let's just Tom, I went out with our buddy. Now, our buddy from college, Dean, accidentally discovered that he has a perfect palate.
Yes, he came up last year at some point too.
Yeah. So he didn't even drink in college, and just after college, when he would drink a good beer, he would be like, oh man, this tastes like candied walnuts and boysenberries and shit like that. And
you know what I taste, Joe? Beer.
His friends were like, Dean, that is weird. They're like, stop pulling our leg. And he's like, no, this tastes exactly like a donut I had when I was 16 at a donut shop. He has a photographic memory of everything he's ever tasted.
It's the most bizarre thing, but he
literally is a professional beer drinker, and he was
basically a sommelier with beer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's called a cicerone, but he refuses to be acknowledged as that because he said they're pretentious, and they invented that term after he was already one of them.
Okay.
So he refuses to use the term. But anyway, he was in town, and he had a guy from Belgium who runs the oldest farm brewery in Belgium. The guy's brewery invented the Saison. And he was in town, and they took us to a dinner at a wonderful Belgian pub here in Greenville. It was wonderful. Anyway, there's my story about beer. Let's get into the betting. Tom,
let's drink some beers.
Yeah. I got to drink. I'm not drinking right now. I got off the bike. I'm hydrating.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I didn't yesterday because I was out drinking beer. So, so there we go. Anyway, let's start with Sunday's games. Let's start with the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. New Orleans -3 on the highway. Tom, -115. With the -3, the over under of 44.5. New Orleans and Carolina. Tom, I'll be honest. Maybe you're smarter than me. You dug deeper into this one. What the hell? How do I bet this game?
Because I bought the Panthers. I got it when it was at 4.5 on Tuesday.
Oh, so that's been juiced down.
Yeah, I mean, they had the COVID situation. I mean, I actually bet it literally a couple hours right before the COVID situation kind of came out. It doesn't seem like anything more has come from that. Luckily for Saints. So, but they had some big injuries. Eric McCoy and Marcus Davenport and Marshawn Lattimore in their secondary. So, I'm just a little bit skeptical about what we saw in week one. I thought it was a little bit of the Packers no showing in that game. And Not completely sure what we still have, with Jameis Winston. It was good, and the limited batches there. He only threw for 148 yards with 5 touchdowns, but just a tad skeptical here. And I think this Panthers team was dominating that game against the Jets, so I think there's some value on the dog here at home. They're
still getting 3, so that's that key number. So you're still getting that if you think there's value on the home dog here. Any props that stand out to you? Jameis Winston over 240. Tom, Jameis Winston, I was surprised to see the over/under on touchdowns at 1.5. Thought it'd be at 4.5 after last week.
This game, it was tough. I looked through. I didn't really see anything that was too interesting. I looked at Christian McCaffrey. He was sitting at like 113 for his rushing and receiving. I thought that was interesting, but couldn't quite get there. So and on the Saints side, we didn't see much last week. I feel like we're going in blind again in week 2 with their offense.
Yeah.
So,
that's exactly right, Tom. I don't know how I'm betting a player prop for the Saints right now.
Yeah, I mean,
we just didn't see. I mean, look, to them, that was an ideal game. But we didn't see their 90th percentile game plan. Like that was the 5% to the extreme win, and there's a 5% extreme loss. They were in the 5% extreme win range of outcomes.
Yeah, I mean, it was they didn't even have to show much of the playbook last week. So, I think Troutman led the team with 3 catches. I mean, there was just, very few completions. Didn't really have to see much from them. So, kind of staying away from that Saints side. If I was looking at anything, it was kind of McCaffrey props. DJ Moore's prop was kind of interesting too. He was sitting around 61 yards. No Lattimore, and he's kind of owned them throughout the years. He's always played against them well. So Robbie Anderson had a very limited role. I was looking at Robbie Anderson's under for 4.5 catches as well, but those were interesting ones that I couldn't quite get to the window with.
Yeah, so keep in mind, I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's dinged up for the Saints too, so that could be a boon for Terrace Marshall, who almost scored last week, Tom. So let's Carolina, I thought it was a promising start for Carolina, but again, you're playing the Jets. Darnold, and I think Pro Football Focus kind of agreed, the perception of his game was better than the reality of the game.
That was kind of my, just jumping in and out of the red zone. It seemed like he left some throws out there. It was, it wasn't a particularly tough matchup against the Jets, but overall, it's not like we can ding him for what he did either.
Complete opposite, by the way, Tom. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is not injured. As a matter of fact, I threw a note. I knew I wrote about him, but I threw a note in the Game Hub that he allowed just 0.2 yards per coverage snap in the slot last week against Green Bay per SIS. That was the fewest of any player targeted 3 or more times in week 1. So not the week to meddle with Terrace Marshall. What are some of the unders on Terrace Marshall, actually? Let's see here. Do they have any over-unders here?
Yeah.
I don't have any reception.
Also on the other side, that was the Packers side, and they were all kind of discombobulated.
Yeah,
so you don't know what you're going to get from that defense too.
Yeah, I'm staying away from this game now. You got the 4.5. The 3 is out there if you like Carolina.
Yeah, I still like the 3.5. It's still widely out there for anybody. Shop around. There's a lot of 3.5 still out there.
Cincinnati and Chicago, Tom. Cincinnati's catching 2.5 on the highway, -105 with the 2.5. Over under 45.5. Now, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this would indicate that a lot of money's come in on the Bengals.
Yes, this line has moved. Yeah, from it crossed over the